Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. Today, I'm going to show you how to break down a whole chicken. And I've already posted a short video on how to clean and prep a whole chicken. Go check that out. I teach you how to get it out of the package, give it a light clean, and get to this point. Hey Jack.
Hi.
So we have two whole organic chickens. I got a 2-pack from Costco. I'm going to show you how I like to break these down and use them. Guys, so take a look at my setup here. Now I got a large cookie sheet here with some foil. Just gonna make my cleanup a lot easier. So as I cut up my chicken, I'll put the pieces there. All right. I got my cutting board here, nice big cutting board, my sharp knife. I took the bag that the chicken was in and just put it in a bowl so I can put my garbage in there. And then when I cut up chickens like this, I like to use the carcass and the scraps to make chicken stock. So look, I already got my pot set up. It's sitting in the sink here. So as soon as I'm done cutting up my pieces, I can put all my scraps and the bones right in there to make my chicken stock. All right, so let's get started with our first chicken. Now I already patted these dry, but you really want to make sure, I keep some extra paper towel. I just want to make sure everything's as dry as possible because if your board's wet or your knife is wet, you could slip and you could cut yourself. So we're going to start breaking this down. Now I'm going to break this down into leg quarters. I'm going to take the wings and then I'm going to cut off the breasts and make some chicken cutlets. So first thing you want to do, I want to take off the leg quarters. And to do that, you grab one of the chicken legs and you kind of hold it up on the side. And you see how this skin stretches here? So your first cut is just to cut through that skin nice and easy. You don't need to put a lot of pressure. And now you can see inside. Now, all you got to do at this point is you could use your knife to hold it. I mean, I tend to flip it over and just use my hand to break the joint with my glove on like that. And then you can see right there, you see it exposes the top of the leg bone. So that's where you want to cut through to get this chicken leg quarter off. So I cut the rest of the skin and now I got my bone exposed here. I know that's where that joint is. You just cut through. And again, you don't need to have a ton of pressure. Just lift also and use the weight of the chicken to help you separate it. And just cut and cut right through and right to the end. And there you go. You got one chicken leg quarter. If you want to separate the thigh, you flip this thing over and there's a natural fat line right here. And that's where that other bone is. You would just cut down through there and separate the thigh and the leg. So I'm going to roast these leg quarters for dinner tomorrow. So any excess fat, you see all this stuff here, I don't need this. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a trim, just using the weight of the chicken to stretch the skin. Okay, I'm going to take that right off. And I got my garbage bowl there. Take a little extra piece of the fat, put it in my garbage bowl. And this looks pretty good. So now I have one chicken leg quarter. Put it right on my pan there. And I'm going to do the other side. All right, so I'm going to show you the other side. Same thing. See how I hold it up? Stretch out that skin. Okay. Cut through the skin. And you can see inside there. Inside where the joint is. And again, just flip it over. And then break the leg, basically. See how that bone just pops right out? And that's how you know where to cut. Okay. Watch your fingers. Take off the second leg quarter. And you want to try and get as much of the meat as you can. You don't want to lose it. But that's the second one. All right, so I got both leg quarters off. Again, I'm going to give this a little trim. All right, so there you have. I got my second leg quarter right there. All right, so now this chicken is already facing where I want it to. I got to cut these wings off, all right? Now, if you feel the top here, you can feel the joint with your finger. So you kind of know, if you move it around a little, you know where that bone ends. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut into the top here, just a little bit, and feel with your knife to see where that joint is, okay? And take your time because sometimes it's a little bit hard to find. But you want to separate that bone, that joint, to get the wing loose. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now I got it. And then all I got to do is just cut through, just like that. And now my wing is off. Okay, and I like to cut the tips off here So I'm gonna roast this with the chicken leg quarters. So there's a joint here. And again, just feel with your knife, okay? And just press down and don't rush it. And if it starts to slip, you see how I was holding the tip end? Spin it around so you get a better grip. And just cut right through, get that wing tip off. Now you got a nice little wing. I'll put that on my tray. And then my wing tip's going in the stock. I'm gonna put it right in my pot. All right, so I flip this thing around so I can hold on to the other wing. And same thing, you feel the joint a little bit, make a cut right in there, okay? As soon as you cut open, just look and see where you're at. See if you're in the right spot to cut through that joint and release the wing. And you gotta do this a couple times to get used to it, okay? And it's usually pretty easy, all right? So there's my second wing. And again, same as before, I'm gonna flip this thing over, find that joint, and I wanna cut that wing tip off just like that, put it in my stock. All right, so we got our leg quarters, we have our chicken wings cut and trimmed. The last thing I'm gonna do is take off the breasts. Now, some people like to keep it on the bone and make fried chicken. I don't do that. If I make fried chicken, I'm probably just making chicken thighs because that's what I like. I want to get these cutlets off of here and I want to get these breasts off here and use them for chicken cutlets. So, and then the rest of this carcass I'm going to use for my stock. But before I do that, you see all this excess fat? There's always usually a big hunk of excess fat and sinew on one side of the cavity here. I want to cut that off. I want to get rid of that, okay? So that's going in the garbage because I don't want to put that in my stock, all right? And now I'm ready to take off the chicken breast. And see, this thing's already laying to one side, so it makes it easy. And you can see the center line here, okay? Right in the middle. And you're just gonna take your knife, and here's where it pays to have a sharp knife, and just go right down that line one time. And now take a look and just see where you are. So I opened that up pretty good, and I can see the breastbone here. All right, I just want to finish this cut to the end. All right, and the key here is you don't want to lose the breast meat. And what I'm trying to do is take the breast and the tenderloin together. So I'm gonna feel for that breastbone. I don't know if you can hear that. And just gently go a little at a time with my knife and stay as close to that bone as you can. And you're gonna have to make a few different cuts. All right, but just again, less cutting is better until you do this a few times and you get really good at it. Okay, and I can see the tenderloin under there. And I'm lifting the meat away from the bone. Okay, cut the back there a little bit, release the skin, keep going. And now just get a feel for where you're at. And then you can pick it, you can pick the whole thing up. So I can see the tenderloin is here, the breast is here, and I'm almost off the bone. I can feel it on the other side. I'm just about right there. You could also turn around and look, you see this natural fat line? That's where the breast is. That's how you know where you need to cut to get it off, okay? So I'll just give that a little score with the knife. Cut on this side just a little bit, just being very gentle here. And I think I'm ready. I could probably finish this off. So cut away the excess skin, and then the final few cuts here to release this from the breastbone, okay? A few more scrapes. And now I'm cut through on that side. I can make sure I got all the meat, and this is just about off. Cut, cut, cut. And if there's some bone at the end, that's okay. Just cut around that joint. All right, and my breast is off. It's still attached, but I want to get rid of this skin. So just hold it up. Let your knife kind of just fall down. You don't need to cut because this is a sharp knife. And slowly but surely, that skin comes off and it starts to look like a chicken breast. So here's my tenderloin, okay? I can cut that away now, just gently. Don't need to do anything. And now you can start to see, now I have a beautiful chicken breast, okay? I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, so I want to cut off that excess skin from the first breast. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this time it gets a little more tricky because there's really not much to hold this thing up. But again, you got that breastbone here. You're going to use your knife. Just stay right on that bone and just start cutting to release the breast, okay? And again, same exact process. Just want to try not to lose as much meat as you can, all right? And just scrape, scrape, scrape. Want to try and go under that tenderloin as best you can. Sometimes you lose a little, but it's all right. It's never going to be perfect. I'm not a butcher. I think most people are not. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing this till this thing releases, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I got the second breast off, and again, I'm just going to take off that tenderloin. All right, so I got 2 chicken tenders. I have my 2 chicken breasts, and now I'm going to take the rest of this carcass, again, cut that excess skin off that was on the breast, throw it in the garbage, and then I'm going to take my carcass, and this is why I like to have my stock pot right next to me in the sink. I'm just going to throw this right in for my stock. Now at this point, I'm going to trim these breasts. I'm going to probably cut them in half and pound them out into cutlets. If you want to know how to clean and prep chicken breast, go watch our video. Go watch my video on how to clean and prep a whole chicken breast, and I'll show you how to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this second chicken done, and I'll show you what it all looks like in the end. All right, so this is it, guys. This is what it looks like. So I got my 4 chicken tenders here, and you know, sometimes with the chicken tenders, it's hard to get this little tendon out. But sometimes if it's sticking up enough, I cut it off so you don't get those chewy bits when you cook it. But, you know, sometimes you can't get it out. It's very difficult. So I got my 4 tenders. I got my 4 wings here. I got 4 really nice big chicken breasts. And I have my 4 chicken leg quarters. And then usually what I'll do is I'll take these leg quarters and the wings and I'll roast them with some nice potatoes for one meal. I'll take the cutlets and maybe a couple of the tenders. I usually pack up 2 breasts, 2 tenders, and I can make one meal out of that. So that's 2 separate meals there. And that's how I'll use it. So all I got to do now is bag these up. You put them in the freezer and you got yourself some chicken for a while. And then again, the added bonus is I'm going to make a big pot of chicken stock with those bones. And I'm going to get at least 4+ quarts of chicken stock out of those 2 little chickens. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's how I like to break down and use whole chickens like this. And you know what? Anytime when I have time and I can get whole chickens, it's always better to get meat that's less processed. So the stuff that's been cut up already is great. I mean, I still use it all the time. But when I have some extra time on my hands, I like to get the whole chickens and break them down. I think it's a better quality chicken, it's less processed, and it's healthier for you. So, and you know, the other thing I wanted to say is, it may seem a little overwhelming at first, but this is like anything else. You do it a couple times, and you get the hang of it. And now for me, filming, it's a little awkward because I'm not used to trying to hold it a certain way to show the camera. But trust me, I get 2 chickens like this, it takes me 10 minutes to break them down, and you know, you got to clean up to do and package them for the freezer, but it's worth the effort. So I hope you got some value out of this video, and I hope you go out and try and get your own whole chickens to break them down. You're going to love the results. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.